Okay, let's see what we have here. And your first name?
Jonathan.
Jonathan. Okay, let's see here. Yes, sir, Mr. Jonathan, you're not in my system. Those red light cameras never came to our office. If you say that you had those hearings with the city, then they never came to the courthouse. So everything that's being done right now should all be through the city. So the city should be the one telling you how to appeal that case.
Yeah, and would that be the traffic department? I mean, because that's the only one I contacted. Who would you recommend to contact other than the traffic department? And I physically brought them a letter stating that I would like to appeal this specific case to the traffic department because I didn't know where else to bring it to. Well, the courthouse was a little bit of a distance, so...
Let me see if I can find out a little more about that. Just a moment.
Sure. Thank you. So I've been working on this case for I don't know how many times. I've already called people, and nobody really seems to know what to do. And it's kind of, in this day and age, what they've done is they've used convenience. Convenience is their big advantage. If they can inconvenience people to a point, well, it's like, I guess it's like the streets, you know, if somebody owes, you know, somebody money for something, you know, they try to blow them off, they shut their phone off, they change their phone. And eventually the person may give up trying to collect their money. Well, they do the same thing with us. If we feel we've been wronged and we think that because we had a constitution drafted that we have the right to appeal or at least be heard, then, you know, they say, well, you have every right to do that, but for how much, right? For how much? And is it affordable? And if people can't afford it, what choice do they have? Well, they get their license plate taken, I guess, and they can't drive. So I guess they said, well, if you had enough money to drive, you should have enough money to pay these tickets. Well, what's the point of driving? So, you know, we have a big dilemma here. I think especially in places like Florida, because we've got a lot of people here, a lot more coming, and they have the infrastructure's laid out, so you have to drive everywhere. For most people, I would say, at least to make a living. And
we sincerely appreciate your patience.
Hard to avoid.
We'll be back in a moment.
I know for myself, these tickets came as a shock, complete shock, because I had gone through this light multiple times a week for a few years, and I don't know when they put these cameras up, but immediately after I got these tickets, I started to take notice, and I noticed on 2 occasions the light turned red quicker, faster than normal. It was obvious. It was very noticeable. And I would say that only a fraction of seconds, tenths of seconds, would it take enough to kind of throw a person off psychologically, because they're so adapted to having that yellow light take the time that it has, that if you shorten...
Sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, did you speak with Officer Wininski in Lakeland?
Well, I did speak with the officer initially. That was before my hearing. That was also similar to what I'm going through now, as far as trying to find out what I had to, in order the process. So I've spoken.
You probably want to speak with him, because he's the one that handles those tickets.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that he can tell you what you would need to do if you want to appeal it.
Okay.
Yes, because he's the one that handles them. His name is on all of those tickets.
And do you have his phone number just in case?
Yes. Let me see if I can get his number over there for you.
Thank you.
Don't we have an actual number for that officer? Wilinski over in Lakeland. Let's see. Thought I had an actual number for him. Just a moment.
Sure.
Thanks for holding.
So convenience and time, if you want to get more specific, time is their main weapon that they use today. You know, they place sanctions on countries all over the world if they don't play by their rules, which is really just to join the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund scheme, and allow control over their socio-economical systems by the same few crooked individuals that own, you know, the 147 super entities that control 40%, at least 40% of the global wealth. And I think that some of these studies, you know, may have been, they realize people are yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, I'm having the hardest time getting anyone to answer their extension.
Okay.
What I can do is I can transfer you to the Lakeland Courthouse. That's where the officer is.
Sure.
And you can just ask him, tell him that you want to speak with him.
Absolutely, that'd be excellent.
Yes, sir. Officer Winston.
All right, God bless.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to transfer you. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you. And you have to be respectful. I understand that there's a time and place for everything, but when you can see that people are, you know, just oblivious to the fact.
To continue in English, press 1. Para continuar en español, oprime 2. Or you may press 0 at any time for immediate assistance.
Yeah. One moment, please.
Well, one person tells me $200. She tells me I have to call the county. See what the city's.
This is Bedfield for Court Shank. Can I help you?
Yes, ma'am. I'm calling. My name's Jonathan. I'm calling to find out what do I have to do to appeal a red light camera citation violation?
Well, how far is it? Is it a notice of violation?
Yeah, it's, I've already been to the city council hearing, and I was instructed that my next step was to appeal, and I've been working on trying to find out exactly how do I appeal.
Okay, so you've gone to the City of Lakeland hearings that never went to county court, right?
Correct.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
Sure. Might run out of batteries here.
Hello, sir?
Yes.
Okay, hold on 1 second for me, all right?
Sure. I mean, if you know that you've been served an injustice, then as a citizen of this country, you have a duty to fight, to plead for your cause. So that's what we're doing. And, you know, we're going to continue to record this storyline to basically educate people on reality. I mean, if people are thinking about moving to this country, these are the things you should expect. I can't count the number of times I've been given tickets and lost my license. But I've changed, and I take very particular caution to avoid having to pay any more of these expenses. And I find it outrageous that something like this would happen back to back within 2 weeks. There's no way that I would intentionally go through a red light. As I stated, I've witnessed it. I've witnessed the time lag to been significantly shortened, and most importantly, they can't expect somebody to have to, as the defendant, have to have the burden of